Garfield's here. Good to see you. I know you guys out there like a bit of Eric Clapton. So do I. I'm a big fan. So I thought I'd throw a bit of Sweet Home Chicago out there. It's obviously a Robert Johnson tune. We have to give Bob Johnson his credit, don't we? So this is the, you know, kind of Chicago bluesy kind of version that Clapton likes to do, isn't it? So this is what I'm going to do is you've probably seen already, because I probably put it at the front of the video, where I'll play the intro and then I'll go through the Eric Clapton guitar solo, which kicks in about 3.5 minutes in. And it's a class solo. I think it's a really difficult solo, because you can learn technical things on the guitar, and when they're rhythmically simple, they come together quite easy. But I find that with students and myself, if you have to learn something which is rhythmically a little bit more tricky, then it takes a bit more time and it's harder to get your ear wrapped around. And because Clapton plays out of the blues and the pentatonic kind of vibe, there's not that kind of melodic shapes that you can grab hold of, like if you were learning other types of lead guitar. So it takes you a while just to get your ear locked in onto the licks that he's trying to play. So it's an interesting thing, but I think it's part of the attraction of this form of music as well. Like for me, it's all about the expression. That's all I'm interested in with music, is like how expressive it is and how it emotionally connects. So you can tell, like, when he goes for the solo, he's really, really going for it. Anyway, Sweet Home Chicago. So yeah, like I said, you probably watched me just do the intro and the solo, so let's go through it, will we? So he starts off with a kind of like, he likes to hit all these open strings as he's going, so he's going. So there he's using a fragment of like an E9, moving up and down, like. Hitting those open E things, which is really nice to do, especially if you're playing a power trio a lot. You know, it's, you know, obviously with Cream and that, it was about filling it out and making it exciting and stuff. So, you know, all these kind of things that he's doing, hitting the open strings, just create that body, don't they, and the excitement. So anyway, next lick, he goes. It isn't bad now, and he just goes 8/9, and then. So that's pretty straightforward. Then there's a little of a bass riff. So that lick is a classic, you know, kind of A lick. So he's on the turnaround, he's playing the bass riff, and then it's like almost Stevie Ray like, isn't it, if you've ever studied those solos. So and then you've got this kind of turnaround, which is really part of a B7. Then come on, I think it goes to the A chord actually. Come on. So then he's kind of into the chugging of the chords and stuff like that. Okay, guitar solo. So we've got so that's kind of classic Clapton, that, isn't it? Just make sure I'm in shot. Play that a couple of times. And then so this is going back to what I was saying about rhythmically. Sometimes he's playing straight, like 16th notes, and then he might play 5 notes on a beat, and then he, you know, it might go somewhere else. So it's hard to kind of like, it's not as mathematically straight as like the Wes Montgomery one I did last week. everybody, you know, jazz is hard and jazz, you know, is harmonically complex. But rhythmically, a lot of those kind of jazz solos, like the West solos, are kind of slightly easier to work through because rhythmically they're so easy. It's really about getting the speed and the fingerings. But this, about trying to get the phrasing, is the tricky thing. So anyway, so this second lick is a really expressive. And that's a real classic Chicago blues lick. So we're, you know, that's a lick, like there's a lesson I have online there about the one lick booster or whatever. You know, take that lick and play it around a whole bunch of keys. Play it on A, play it on G, play it on F. It's a classic lick, that. So, and then he tremolando. And it's a 1.5 bend, that, so he's going, and then he plays it on the second beat, and then we've got this repetition. So the repetition is on that little, what I call the shed. You know, 2 little walls and a pointy roof. If you've been following some of my lessons online over the last few years, you'll hear me talk about chuck and shed and sports car and train and the ladder, and these are like blues shapes that I use with my students to teach improvisation. So that's another lesson. Anyway, there's the little shed, pointy roof, 2 little walls. Anyway, so he's doing that, and then he goes. Hang on, I'm making this up now. So that's a really nice. So I like the way he's using the major third there. And then there's a lick. So that's a really hard lick to get together because it kind of goes brilliant. You know, so it's hard to kind of pick up on. So, and then, and again. That's cool. And then. That last bit again. So from the high bit, and then he's got this. So again, it's a really hard one to get your ear wrapped around, isn't it? With that, if you want the tab, you know, maybe email me at mikebrookfield@mac.com. Check out the website, mikebrookfield.com, and I hope you're enjoying some of these free lessons I'm flying out on a Friday. So keep it burning out there.